On today's show, Minnesota Bound gets a special invitation to cross the border to Michigan, a place known for the Michigan Grand Slam. Bill Shirk has the story. And Bill's back out of bed early to tackle another St. Mary's tradition with one of the youngest guides on the water. And we meet a musky fisherman who has turned his fishing passion into art. But don't let his beauty fool you. This art will catch a St. Mary monster. And later, a Minnesota Bound classic whose title says it all, Land of the Living Sky. Those stories and more next.
Minnesota's select GMC dealers present Minnesota Bound. From the North Country, here's Ron Shera and Raven, the Black Lab.
Hi, everybody. Raven and I welcome you to the show, and a special show it is because we're taking you on an adventure to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. First up, Sault Ste. Marie. Bill Shirk has the story.
Shh, quiet. Everyone's still sleeping.
Early riser. That's an understatement.
My alarm chimed at 4:50 this morning.
Off a late night flight, and here I am, up 4 measly hours later. Can't even get breakfast yet. I've come to Michigan's St. Mary's River. It splits Michigan and Canada and seems to have a bit of a reputation. A place known for the Michigan Grand Slam.
So we're going to a place called Sugar Island.
I've come to meet an island legend. This guy.
I'm Harold. Harold? Bill Shirk. Nice to meet you.
Longtime guide Harold Bailey knows all about the Michigan Slam.
We have guide, we have boat, and we have summer weather. Now we just need fish, 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 fish.
Now, this is all the St. Mary's River.
This is big water here.
This is big water.
When the weather's this dang warm, it's 85 degrees, there's not an ounce of wind, not a single cloud in the sky, and I'm thinking, we're going walleye fishing?
What we're doing, we're working about 14 to 16 foot of water.
Harold the whole time is just kind of chuckling because this is his place and he knows what these fish do. Oh, you're sure marking fish on the bottom.
I certainly am.
That's a fish. There you go. We're like 8 minutes into this trip and right away, fish.
Oh, we got one here. We got doubles.
We got doubles.
All right.
And it's just like unbelievable because there's nobody around. It's the last day you'd expect to catch fish and we're just banging on it. Oh yeah, nice walleye.
Little one about that. Right.
Look at that. Just another day of fishing,
Oh,
eh?
yeah. Just average, you know. We always. Yeah.
Turns out the St. Mary's is one of North America's best fisheries. But most folks only know it for the big boats.
I'm not a crowd person. I like people. I don't like crowds. This is a good one.
Walleye?
Yeah, it's a walleye. I'm pretty sure. There you go. Oh, ouch, he just tore me up good. These are the kind of injuries you gotta love.
Heck yeah.
One thing though, the sterile worm dirt, it helps keep it clean.
Man, how's that for timing? This is the kind of craziness I love.
And he forgot to mention the bass.
Smallmouth.
There it comes.
There we go. Whoa. Mussels, aren't they, for size of fish they are?
Heck yeah.
Oh, nice smallmouth. Beautiful fish.
Before lunch, we finish our St. Mary's Slam.
That's a nice plate.
Walleyes, bass, and pike. But Harold hopes to turn this into a grand. We run literally 5 minutes up the river to tackle an entirely different game.
The St. Mary's River is famed for its runs of salmon. And guess what? We're still stringing up rods and bang.
Oh, fish, fish.
There we go, there we go, there we go.
There we go.
Did you get him?
Yep, he's here, he's here.
I can see him.
There he goes.
Oh, he's far now. Just keep pressure on him.
Oh,
He's pulling.
oh, yeah, that's a fish.
We get that fish within 10 feet of the boat, and it pulls one of its classic head shakes, and I thought. But then I see Harold's net out of nowhere.
There we go.
It's a miracle!
Woof.
We've got fish in net.
I'm falling in love with this fishery.
Oh, thank goodness.
There you go, a Michigan Grand Slam.
Kind of makes getting out of bed at 4:50 a.m. worth it, don't you think?
A day with Harold proves life around Sugar Island is, in a word, sweet.
And I don't take it for granted. I appreciate every day I get to go out on the water.
Rise and shine, it's St. Mary's fishing time. Bill Shirk heads out on the water with the area's youngest fishing guide.
There we go. Oh, he's right under you.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Minnesota's Select GMC Dealers. Renewal by Anderson, makers of quality replacement windows and doors. Seven Clans Casino. And by Ice Force, proven hard water gear.
Time now to continue our fishing adventure to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Next target, smallmouth bass.
Welcome to the Sioux, a Michigan town home to Lake Superior's locks and one really big burger.
Holy cow. Paul Bunyan burger, that's going to take a while.
Not a lot of time to eat. I've got to get to work. With this guy, local fishing junkie Travis White. See, Travis is a bit of a self-admitted outcast around the St. Mary's River. And not just because he's got the small boat.
This is one of those pictures you just don't get very often. Wow.
Let's just say he knows a little secret. Travis fishes where ships leave Lake Superior and enter the Sault Ste. Marie locks.
Yeah, this is the honey hole right here. Let's check it out, see what happens. We've got, 50-some miles of shipping channel that have been dredged out and excavated, so we've got spoil piles, throughout the river that provide nice habitat for the smallmouths.
Smallmouth bass Travis chose to chase just like an outcast might.
Oh, I got a fly rod for my 10th birthday, I guess. Once you go there, you just don't go back, It's hard to pick up a spinning rod when you know you can catch some fish on a fly rod.
He's been, well, hooked ever since.
We're going to pull something off this, Bill. There we go. He ate. Fish on. You feel that head thrash and you know it. It's game on. It's pretty exhilarating, to be honest with you.
Honey is sweet.
There we go. A little guy to start the day here. What was that, about 5 minutes in? Not bad.
I'd just like to hook one. Seems the local guy's got the secrets all tied up.
I'm hooked up. There we go. He's right under you. There we go.
It's 2 in a row. 2 casts back to back on that same fly right there. That's the ticket. The St. Mary's Deceiver.
Travis is catching fish.
Great Lakes gold, baby.
I'm not.
He had a pretty good run going where it was like fish, 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 and I'm in the back of the boat and
I want to catch one. Come on.
I get accused a lot of being a fly fisherman.
Oh, yeah?
I am not a fly fisherman. I'm an angler who likes to use a fly rod now and then.
There you go. Bill, we got a whole school moving up in towards those 3 rocks.
Good.
Can't keep up with him. I can't keep up.
a nice fish.
Yeah, it is. Come on, baby. Come on.
Oh, there we go. Nice.
Good Lord.
Nice. There we go.
Little clouser. Wow. See, now that's the way a smallie's supposed to be. Just whacked it.
These fish are giving us hell.
Woo. We've got more fish than we can count.
Oh, fish on.
And not a single other angler within sight.
Oh, geez, this is probably a 15 or 16-inch fish here. There we go. That's a fat fish right there. Look at the belly and the girth on him. What a fish. Just a beauty.
So, Travis White spends days in his little boat away from the crowds, catching big fish his way.
There we go. I'll take that. The fight on a fly rod is just superior to anything else. It's hard to put words to it. It's one of those things you just got to feel. And away he goes. I love it. I love it.
Before you head out chasing St. Mary's monster fish, be sure to look up this area's artist. He's combined his art with great fishing, and the results might just catch your next trophy fish.
Closed captioning of Minnesota Bound is brought to you by
Looking for characters in the UP of Michigan? Well, we found one. This guy makes musky lures the old-fashioned way. Bill Shirk has the story.
Out of bed and on the water early.
All right. It starts. The adventure.
My third day in a row here in Michigan.
We're headed to the middle of Musky Lake.
That's Rod Jones. He fishes.
Up before the sun, and he says the muskies are going to be cracking.
Rod should know.
Well, the fact is that, you know, the fish is such a big fish. And we get a big fish that's over 20 years old, and there's a whole mystique that goes along with it.
The dinner bell ringing.
But really, in the musky game of cat and mouse, Rod is all about the baits.
We've caught more muskie on this bait than I can't even tell you how many we've caught on. And it started out as a joke. It's a bullseye. This is another good bait. This was a small bait. I dream about baits at night. That's sad, but I see them in my sleep. It's kind of sick, actually.
To understand is to stop by Rod's wood shop. A garage overwhelmed by the colors, shapes, and sounds of fishy business. In here, Rod whittles away his time off the water.
I come after work when I get home, and after I usually spend 4 or 5 hours out here. So basically there you got your blank. That's how you start off.
He collects all kinds of wood to build baits.
This is cedar, like I said. This is pretty high quality. They seal the ends so they don't split.
He even uses some pretty unusual stuff like Alaskan yellow cedar.
This is Honduras mahogany. It's real heavy wood.
Rod's been building musky baits for years. He got so good he had to start selling, and that meant he needed a name.
We used to be fishing, and we'd get a good fish, and I'm a big one.
And the name stuck.
It's a lot of trial and error. Obviously, the first ones I made weren't so great.
This was his very first bait.
Put it together, painted it, put some epoxy on it, and said, man, that might work. Second time I took it out, I caught a 44-inch muskie on it. The painting is the big thing for me. I love to paint. You try to dry each coat as you put it on. Start of the scale effect.
And eventually, the bait comes to life.
So it's reddish at the top and the gold comes in the bottom. I think I have some unique paint jobs you just don't see in the commercial baits. That's your basic red horse sucker. And that will catch a muskie. I'm clear coating with the first coat of epoxy. And then what you do, you go over it lightly with a torch to get rid of all the bubbles. 10% of the lures catch fish, 90% of the lures catch fish. I try to do a little of both. I try to make them look good, yet catch fish.
And to create something from scratch that catches a fish like a muskie, it's kind of profound.
A little piece of art in the big world of muskies.
This is a lifelong deal for me. I'll be doing this forever.
Our Minnesota-bound classic takes us to the land of the living sky. That's living sky in Saskatchewan. Mother Nature at her best, and you won't want to miss it.
Minnesota Bound, brought to you by Ellsworth Cooperative Creamery, Hennepin County Medical Center. Summer is short. Play it safe. And by Kinetico. Better water flows from better thinking.
Time now for one of our Minnesota-bound classics, and this one is one of my favorites because it's called The Living Skies. And when you look up in the air in Saskatchewan, that's what you see.
A glow in the east signals the start of another day on Saskatchewan's vast prairie. It's late September, and you're a goose hunter wrapped in a blind of willow sticks. Your eyes scan the sky. You've come in search of snow geese. You wait, but you really have no clue about the snowstorm you are about to witness. This is the September song of snow geese, and it's music for your heart. As Saskatchewans themselves like to say, this is the land of the living sky. They pass above your willow blind. They look down upon your stone-faced decoys. Most keep going. The living skies also may be too full these days. A population explosion of snow geese, including the blue goose variety, has led to liberal hunting seasons and limits to protect goose nesting grounds in the Arctic. Yet, judging by the scenery on and over Saskatchewan's Little Quill Lake, the snow goose storm continues.
The sheer mass of them, when you see the first wave and then you see the second wave, well, you think it must be almost over now because it must be all out of there. And then like the 50th wave later, they're still coming.
Snow geese by the thousands does not mean easy limits, however.
Right here, right here, right here.
Our willow blind pulled in a few birds until the morning light exposed our hide. The morning hunt over, Hoosier the black lab was called on to sniff out the downed birds. With the wind on the prairie, we tried pass shooting as the geese moved from field to field. With so many birds, geese were passing almost anywhere. Hoosier was watching. So were the rest of us.
It's amazing the density of wildlife. It's just, and then just watching on the prairie occur. Whether you were here or not, it would go on.
A goose hunter on the prairie also learned something else. Looking up at the living sky, you tend to feel small. As small as you'll ever feel.
Nice to know those birds have been flying over the prairies for centuries, hopefully for centuries more. Well, that about does it for us. Remember, introduce the kid to the great outdoors. I'm Ron Sharon. Of course, the ANSI star of the show here is Raven. Are you going to settle down?
Guests appearing on Minnesota Bound receive gift certificates to Crave Restaurants. Fresh, vibrant, American. Transportation provided by Premier Transportation. Call 1-800-899 7433. For more information on these stories and more, catch us on the web at mnbound.com.